Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and this is the first episode in 2020 of my knitting podcast, and my name is Sari, and this is at the same time this is the first episode of the third season of my podcast. And even though this channel of mine isn't yet 2 years old, it will turn to, I think, at the end of February, very beginning of March. I can't really remember when I posted the first video, but it was almost 2 years ago. But last year at New Year's I decided to start the second season, so I started naming the episode again from number 1, so it was season 2 episode 1 a year ago, and so this is now season 3 and episode 1. And in the last episode of season 2, it was the last one of 2019, I said that I wanted to make kind of like this wrap-up video and talk about the past year, because there were so many things happening during the past year, and kind of talk about my plans for the next year. So I will do that quickly at the beginning of this episode, and then I'll show you what I have on my needles, and also talk a bit about my plans, what I'm going to be making the next, or my next project will be. And if you have been following me, especially here on YouTube, you might already know that 2018 was a really hard year for me. I was super tired all the time. I was really exhausted and stressed out because of my work situation, and I didn't really enjoy what I was doing. Things at my then workplace were pretty bad, and there were like workplace bullying, and people were leaving, and they weren't hiring new people fast enough, and so I was really exhausted and I felt stuck. I felt like I didn't have any options, and I was feeling really down. And I used to work in a museum, so by profession I'm a furniture conservator. I used to work about 10 years as a furniture conservator in different museums, and there aren't really many available positions in that field of work in Finland or worldwide either. And having a small child and so on, I felt really that I was stuck and I had no place to go, and I didn't have any other job options. And my knitting career, my independent designing career, wasn't in that place yet that I could provide for myself doing only that. So I was feeling really down. I was so tired. I wasn't sleeping very well. I suffered from insomnia. I woke up in the middle of the night and couldn't fall asleep again, and it was such a hard year for me. And then at the end of 2018, in November, I got a call from Novita, which is the biggest yarn spinning company in the Nordic countries, and it's situated in Helsinki in Finland. And they were looking for a new knitwear designer, and they asked if I wanted to come in for an interview. And honestly, I hadn't even think about the option that I could become like a professional knitwear designer working for a company. I didn't really think that was an option, because I'm totally self-taught at designing, so I don't have any degree in it, and I hadn't even thought about that option. So I was only thinking about making ends meet on Ravelry sales. And then suddenly it happened that I got the job, and at the beginning of last year, so in January 2019, I quit my job at the museum, and started this new adventure at Novita, and it's been the best thing I have done for myself for such a long time. I wasn't expecting that I would enjoy the work at Novita as much as I do, but I haven't really looked back at all. So for the first 8 months, 9 months, I kept traveling back and forth, Helsinki to Vaasa, which was our hometown at that time, and then at the end of October we finally, my husband also got a job in Helsinki, and we moved in Helsinki. So it's been a big year for us. So both of us changed workplaces. My son got a new daycare place, and we moved cities, and I even changed careers. So it's been a hectic year. And also, as my independent career, it has also really taken off during the past year. I've been working really hard, both at Novita and at my free time as an independent designer. And because many of the independent designer projects, the projects are so long, so if there's a submission call now, the work might come out 6 months from now, or even a year from now, or it might even take longer. So I had already promised to do so many things, and the spring, last year's spring, was really hectic for me in that sense that I was working full time, learning the ropes at Novita, and traveling back and forth and fulfilling all the commissions that I had promised to do. And last year I did work for Woolfolk, for the fiber company. I had 2 designs in Pom Pom Quarterly. So I have done also a 3-piece collection for Stonewall that the designs just came out. There's a hat, a really big scarf, and a longer pullover. And then I did a 3-piece collection for a new booklet from Life in the Long Grass that is just coming out. I also did collaborations with Yama Fiber Arts for the Quantum Shawl, and also the Empress pullover with Knit One Crochet 2, and the Sora pullover with Cosmic Strings yarns. There's a really great project that I'm super excited about, and I have done, that is coming out later in the spring, but I can't really talk about that either. And 2 designs for a magazine that I can't really talk about, and yeah, so many projects. I probably forgot something. Plus work that I did myself. One of my favorite designs from last year was the Wayne pullover that I published in September, I think. My favorite design, and then a lot of sock designs. The my socks that I designed for the Finnish craft magazine, Suuri Käsityö, and Elaja and Serra socks that I did with Ruskalehti, Finnish dyer. So a lot of great projects that I did last year, but it was really hectic. And in the summer I was working literally around the clock, so I just slept for something like 6 hours, and all the other hours of the day I just worked. So it was too much, and I decided to take a small break from submitting work and only work on my own designs at my own pace. So now I have a huge pile of pullovers that need grading. One of them is this one. This is the Siena pullover that I worked in Rerum Natura Gilliatt. This is the colorway caramel. So this is on my table, ready to be braided and pattern writing. Then is the Rauha pullover, which was the burgundy pullover with the cable and the loose cowl turtleneck. I just sent the Auer pullovers to the editor. You remember these two? So these are now at my tech editors, and I hope I will get them out for test knitting very soon. So this is the first version of the Auer pullover, and the second one. This is my kind of my favorite pullover to wear. It goes with everything. It goes with the skirt, and I've been wearing them at the office quite a lot. I'm dreaming also about a black mohair pullover, so I might make a black Auer, or then I'll just come up with another pattern. I haven't decided yet. But last year, when 2018 turned into 2019, kind of made this New Year's resolution, not really a resolution, but I decided that in 2019 I will really work on myself and try to do more work, like taking better care of myself, because like I said, 2018 was such a low point for me, and I was feeling so down and kind of like wanted to heal and find a balance and get better. And I think that has happened last year. I'm feeling much better now, more content. I'm sleeping better, and I'm much happier now than I was a year ago. I started going to the gym again at the end of November, so I've been going to the gym for almost 2 months now, and started going taking dance classes again, and I have always loved dancing, so it really makes me happy, and I already feel so much more energized because I'm getting more exercise, so that's also making me feel so much better about myself. Last year I made a similar video, like a wrap-up video of 2018, and I talked about my plans for 2019, and I said that I wanted to do other crafts rather than just like knitting, and I wanted to learn to sew and make my own clothes, and also to crochet, especially the two-color crochet, but didn't do that. I didn't have time for that, but this year I kind of want to do more crafts, so that's still on my agenda for 2020. So I want to do a Mola Mills bag with two-color crochet. I learned how to do Tunisian crochet last year, and that's something that I want to get better at also. And I really want to find time to sew, but let's see if I can make that happen. This year I want to focus more on knitting from my stash. I have so much yarn in my stash, and some have been there for a couple of years, and I haven't had time to do that. Do like any of the or work on any of the yarns, so I want to kind of do more stash busting. And I also want to design more pieces that are suitable for stash busting and for leftover yarns. 2019 was also a year that I learned a lot about my privilege, and want to be more inclusive. So even though I know I haven't been really vocal on Instagram and on YouTube, but but I've been listening and I've been learning a lot, and I've been self-reflecting, and I've been trying to find ways to work the things that I have learned into my design work. And one of the things is that I've tried to become more size inclusive, so I've been trying to add more sizes to all my patterns, especially the new patterns. So the Auer pullover comes in, I think, 9 sizes. I made 9 sizes for it, and that's something that I'm trying to do. Another thing is to make smaller projects that are more accessible for people, because if you make a pullover, even though you don't use the yarns that cost like 30 euros per skein, it will still cost you quite a lot, and I know many people don't have the money to work on large pullovers. So I want to make smaller things that are more accessible for more people, and like I said, that are also good for using the leftover yarns from your stash. And if you want to make a pullover with like those luxurious yarns that are like 30 euros or even more per skein, and for like size M pullover you probably need 4 or 5 of them, let's say 5. That's already 150 euros, so that's a lot of money. And even though I often get yarn for free, most of the yarns that I use, I buy them myself. I know I would get them for free if I asked, but I kind of want to work independently at my own pace without any strings attached. So most of the yarns that I use, I have bought myself. For example, this yarn I bought myself. Both of these pullovers, the yarns I have purchased myself. I'll show you this a bit later. Some weird string. This was a collaboration with mYak yarns, so these yarns I got, but I'll show you this a bit later. I've been trying to become more plastic free in my life as well, so I'm trying to find ways to reduce waste all the time, and trying to like involve this line of thought in my knitting and in my design as well. So it's hard to say that I want to use less, because I want to knit more, but I want to be more mindful about what I knit. So my design philosophy has always been that I want to make pieces that last and that you really want to wear, because there's like really no point of just like making and never using what you make. So that's pretty wasteful in my opinion. So I want to make pieces that you can really wear and you love to wear, and that's something that I want to do in the future as well. But I'll show you something that I've been working on. So this is going to be a headband. It's almost done, so I only need a very small piece, like 3-4 centimeters, and then it's done. And it's going to be with a little twist. And this is something that I've been working on the bus rides, so I don't think I have ever knitted this at home, so this is only for the bus rides. I have a 20-minute commute, 20 minutes to work and 20 minutes bus ride back home, so it's good time to add a couple of rows to this. And these are both leftover yarns. This is from the Auer pullover, so this is Knitting For Olive's soft silk mohair in the color rose clay, so it's the same I used for this pullover. and this one is La Bien Aimée, and it's merino yarn, and the colorway is La Belle Epoque, and it's the leftover from this Emmeline cowl. So I'm using leftovers for a headband, and this is a design that I'm going to come out quite soon as I get this ready. And there are 2 other stash washing patterns coming out from me. So it's the Bis Beret pattern. There are 2 sizes. This is a spot weight and this is fingering weight. This is almost, or this is actually, it's been test knitted, so it's almost ready for publishing. But my test knitters thought that they wanted to have better tutorials for the I-cord bind off and the I-cord stem. So I started making a 3rd beret. This is the very beginning, so there's the I-cord stem. And I've been taking photos as I go of this one, so I can show you better how to do. And these are from Knitting For Olives. This is the same Eat Silk Mohair that I used for the headband, and this is Knitting For Olives Merino, and they're both in the colorway Rust. So this is going to be a 3rd beret, so going to come out with this pattern very soon. I just published the Emmeline cowl on last Friday, so it's now on Ravelry, and there's still a discount until next Saturday, so you can get minus 20% off both on the Emmeline hat and the Emmeline cowl. And these were worked in La Bien Aimée Merino, so I showed you the La Belle Epoque, and this green one is the colorway Emmeline. So these are both now available on Ravelry, and especially the hat, it uses quite a little of the contrasting colorway, so this is also good for stash busting if you want to use some leftover bits and pieces from your stash. And what else do I have on my needles? So this one, I already showed a bit to you. In the previous video I had just started this, so I had worked just the first few centimeters of it, so you couldn't really see what was happening, but now it's all done, and it's also in my pattern writing pile, so it's almost ready to be sent to my tech editor. And so it has this like lace and bubble design, and I was going to add some lace and bubbles here on the sleeves as well, but it didn't really look good, so I ripped it back. And like I said, this is from mYak, here, this one, and it's the worsted weight Baby Yak. The colorway is called Mustard, and this is a collaboration. So these are, I got these yarns from mYak last summer to work on, and here's Madeline's tail. He's coming here, sit next to me while I film this. So this is my favorite new pullover. I absolutely loved working on this one, and can't really wait to get the pattern ready for testing. So that's another new pattern. It just like flew off my needles. I knitted it really fast. Also, we went to my hometown after New Year's, and it was like 6-hour drive back and forth, so 12 hours in the car, so I had plenty of knitting time. Another collaboration that I have on my needles, this one is with Kettle Yarn, and a new yarn base that she's coming out with, and it's going to be a cardigan here. there's going to be a lace panel on the front, so I just started it last night. It's going to become larger, so this is here at the very front, and it's going to start spreading over the shoulders. So next time I film a video, I probably have more of this to show you. And I talked about this one in the previous episode, but I don't think I had started it back then. I probably only showed you the yarns. So this is my November pullover here, and it's still missing the sleeves. I have the first sleeve here on my needles, and the second sleeve is still on the waist yarn. And the original November pullover was with a unicolor base yarn and the 3 different colors of mohair that made a fade. But for this one I used a unicolor mohair, so this one is also from Knitting For Olive. You can see that I really love their yarns, and they have, I think they have the best colors, so I use their yarns a lot. Also, they are very ethical, sustainable, and the silk mohair has a REACH standard, so it's a very good yarn to use. And so it's just one color. I bought this yarn especially for this pullover, and I'm fading the pullover with 3 different color merino singles. Actually 2 different colors, but they're in reality they are 3 different colors. So I'll quickly tell the story of the yarns in case you haven't heard it. But 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago, Lankauppa here in Finland, they had this like Feel It Yarn Club. They were always collaborating with 2 different dyers, and they had a special colorway for the yarn club. And I ordered the first yarn club, and they were from Walk Collection and from Hedgehog Fibres, and the one from the Walk Collection, it was like this brownish, really beautiful yarn, and the one from Hedgehog Fibres that came was like this really beautiful pink. So it's the one that I have used here at the top. Beautiful colors, and the Walk Collection is here at the bottom. And I was just knitting my Mackenzie's shawl, so I was really into 2-color brioche, and I wanted to use those 2 colors for a brioche shawl. But I had only had 1 skein of each, so I asked around on Instagram if somebody was willing to sell their yarns for me, and I got a second set. So I had 2 from Walk Collection and 2 from Hedgehog Fibres, but turned out the second one from Hedgehog Fibres was totally different color from the one that I had first, and it was like this pale with a lot of blue, and I couldn't use them together. They were so different. So I asked Tititu if they had more of the yarn, and they had more skeins, so I bought a 3rd skein that was more like the pale blue one, and not like the more brownish pink yarn. So I was going to use the 2 pale and blue yarns combined with the brown Walk Collection yarns together for the quantum shawl, but that didn't work out. The colors didn't look together like I wanted them to look. They didn't have enough contrast for a 2-color brioche shawl. So I ended up using Yama Fiber Arts 2 different colors for the shawl, and then I ended up with 5 skeins of yarn in my stash that have been sitting there for over a year, and I didn't really know what to do with them until I decided to fade them together here. So here's the single skein of the Hedgehog Fibres. And the next one is the lighter and more blue hedgehog fibers. And the third one here at the bottom is the Walk collection. So I think they look really nice together. I really love the fade. And as you can see, I made a modification for my pattern. So this one has a high-low hem, so I worked some short rows into the pattern. I think I will write the mods to the pattern, so if you want to do my mods, then you have the option. And another thing that I've been thinking, I haven't sewn in the pattern. You should sew the neckline double. I haven't done that yet because I'm not quite sure if I want to do that or if I want to leave it like this as a funnel neck, but I'll work the sleeves first and then I'll see how I feel about the neckline. So this is my 2nd November pullover. I'm calling it February pullover because it's more February colors than November colors. So this one is the hedgehog fibers, the paler and bluer hedgehog fibers, so it looks like this. Lastly, I'll show you some of my knitting plans. These are all yarns from my stash. Almost 2 years ago, when I went to Berlin, I visited Wollin Berlin at that time, and I bought this Rerum. This is the E+2, so it's Icelandic wool and Thai silk, and this is the I think it was olive green shade. I have 5 skeins, so this many. And I'm planning to use these for like a kind of short sleeve, like a t-shirt, so a very basic t-shirt. So that's something I'm making for the spring, for layering. And then I have, again, Knitting For Olive, but they really do have great yarns, and I have bought all these Knitting For Olive yarns myself, so this is not like an advertisement, but more like that I just really love their yarns. So this is again soft silk mohair and merino, and they're both in the colorway dark camel. See over there. And these are going to be kind of basic pullover with a bow design here at the neck. That's also something that will be casting on very soon. And because the headband is almost done, and as you can see, I need something to do for my commute, so I kind of feel like casting on a new pair of socks, and I also want to make I have this idea of a very basic ribbed hat. You know my obsession with ribbed hats, but I have 2 skeins of Brooklyn Tweed Shelter. This is the bird book. It's a beautiful color, and using these. So I will be casting this on for a hat, another bus ride project. And then I have picked 2 skeins from my stash. This is, I bought this in at the end of 2000. It was September 2018. I was visiting. Edinburgh and Loch Ness with my husband. We were for 1 week in Scotland, and I bought this from Edinburgh. So this is Usitita, and this is the merino sock and the colorways backwoods. So I think I will be casting on this one. And another one from my stash. This is Walk collection tough sock, and the colorway is called Crunch. And because my Midnight Dancer socks that I published just before New Year's. They were the ones with the ruffle and the glitter yarn. They have been very popular. And I was thinking about another pair of like ruffle socks. I was thinking about combining basic sock with like a soft lace ruffle. So that's something that I've been playing around in my head a little bit. I will probably cast on those very soon. I just have to find the perfect yarns from my stash. But yeah, that's kind of like wrapping up 2019 and starting to look ahead towards spring and 2020 projects. Thanks for watching my videos, and your support means a lot to me, and I hope you will continue watching my videos and enjoy them in the new year as well. And when I started to make these videos, I never thought that I would be making the third season. I didn't really think I would enjoy making these videos as much as I do, but I'm really planning to continue making these in 2020 as well, and I hope you will continue to watch them. And I hope you will have a very good start for the new year, and I'm looking forward to see all your projects as well as to show you mine. But that's everything for today, and